come on right in. If this is your first time tuning in, say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Good morning. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, YouTube. How's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome. Good morning to AJ. Good morning. Franca Addo from Maryland. Good morning. Welcome in. Kiki Melanin 26. Good morning. Macedonis from New York. Good morning. All are from Chicago. Dee Dee Devereaux. Good morning. Rich Johnson from Orlando. Good morning. Uche from New Jersey. Helen. Yazana on YouTube. Good morning. Lots of Orlandoans today. Good morning. Someone says, Vala Queen, good morning. Thank you. For those of you tuning in for the first time, welcome. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer and I represent clients all over the United States with their VAWA cases, T visas, U visas, marriage-based cases, consular processing, fiance visa, naturalization, appeals, complex RFEs, notices of intent to deny, all of that good stuff. These morning chats are really just to answer questions that you guys may have, or that you might want to know about immigration or what's, popping in immigration right now. So feel free to ask your questions in the chat. And if I can answer them, I will answer them. Copra, good morning on YouTube from Baltimore. Welcome. Shy Girl from Houston. Welcome. It says Shy Girl, so it sounds like you're from Chicago, but you're in Houston. I was actually born in Houston. Good morning. Rumi, good morning as well. Sunnyson, thank you so much. Franca says, how much is consultation? It's $150 for consultation. If you'd like to schedule one, it's 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp message to 404-333-8751 for them to call you back. You can also call our Atlanta line, which is 678-325-1037. Okay. I am in Atlanta, Georgia. Somebody's asking where you are. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, but I present clients in all 50 states. So your location is not a problem. All right, let's see. Someone is asking a question about work visas. We don't handle work visas, so I can't really answer. Sunny Sunset, I feel blessed to be connected to you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. All right, let's see what other questions I have here. Oh, one CM time tuning in from Jamaica. Luxury says, best lawyer in the business, no cap. Thank you so much. Arelis, good morning. If you guys don't have questions, I can probably talk about, some of the frequently asked questions. Okay, so my mom's green card is lost. She came into the country through filing. She applied for a green card in December of 2023, and her green card status is still saying under review. Unfortunately, honestly, I-90s take a really long time. Like losing your green card or having your green card stolen is really, really annoying because it takes a really long time to get a new one. If she does have her receipt of her filing, she can go get an added stamp. That's where they basically stamp an I-551 stamp on your passport, which acts as your green card. So they would typically give it to you in 12-month increments while her case is pending, so that once her case is approved and she gets her green card, then she'll have it. But with the stamp, it would basically act the same way as her green card. But the delays are honestly normal. So I would say your case has now been pending for 12 months plus 5, so about 18 months, which is no surprise to me. And things are really moving slowly. We're seeing cases where if it has a filing fee, they're granting those receipts quicker than cases that don't have filing fees, because I guess their thought process is, let's first get the ones that we can make money off of first, and then we'll process the others later. This is something that I think it was 2020, around 2020, all of 2020, early 2021, that this also happened. And so that's kind of what's happening right now. Sheena says, how long does it take to receive your green card after being approved? Congratulations, first of all, for your approval. I would say usually about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Because you want to check your status and see if it's been ordered to production. Like, so if it's been ordered to production, unless there's something that happens, usually 2 weeks from then, and usually when it's ready to be shipped, it'll tell you it's ready to be shipped, and you can actually track it that way. Okay. Ochu Baby says, my friend is yes to receive his approval on VAWA, and it's over 3 years. Right now, processing time for VAWA has gone up to 42 months. Give or take, I will still say that we're seeing, I would say, let me just look. We got this approval today, and I'm going to tell you guys when this case was submitted. So 2022, so 1, 2, 3. So we're seeing at exactly 3 years. So this case was submitted in, it was submitted in August of 2022, for example. Let me make sure I'm giving you guys the right submission dates on this particular client. I say this because I always like to say that every case is different. Every case is different. So, if someone tells you, oh, their case has not gotten approved or their case has been pending, we first of all have to know, well, what has happened throughout the filing of that case? Have there been requests for additional evidence at the prima facie stage? Have there been requests for evidence at the review stage? Has there been an NOID? Do they have previous filings where there's a question about their previous divorces, where they have to do authentication? Like, all these things can vary and change people's time. But on average, we're still seeing about, almost 3 years, because this one today, we got an approval this morning. Her file was sent out in August of 2022. So that's 23, 24, 25. So that's basically 3 months shy of about 3 years. So still somewhere between 2.5 years to 3 years if there's absolutely nothing going on. But again, this is not everybody. So sometimes I get on live and I say something, I will have a client come and say, well, but you said this person was approved. You guys have to understand, every officer is different, right? You have different officers making different decisions for different cases. And so when USCIS publishes a timeline, they're basically telling you that 80% of cases are going to fall within this timeline. What that means is that there are going to be some people, or let me correct myself, not 80% will fall within that timeline. 80% as of this timeline will have a decision. So it doesn't necessarily mean that your case is going to take 42 months. It could be earlier. But by then, your case should have been approved. And if it's not been approved, then you need to be contacted for an inquiry. So they go based on the baseline of that timeline as the 80% mark. It also means that there are people that get their approvals much earlier, and there are also people that get approved later. It just really depends on your officer's caseload, the person's case. Peter and Paul are not the same. So what is in their file is different, and it's not the same officer reviewing both of them. Okay. So, Ochua Baby, hopefully your friend gets a decision very soon. Or if they've passed the max timeline, then they can follow up and just see what's going on with their case. Okay. Okay, let's see. My VAWA bona fide. You mean your VAWA prima facie? That's what I'm assuming you're trying to say. My VAWA prima facie expired in December of 2024. I haven't received another one yet. What should I do? I also inquired about it with USCIS. I mean, you still have a prima facie determination, even if you've not received one. USCIS is typically delayed almost always on issuing prima facies on time. These are automatic. There's nothing that you should do. They would typically issue it to you. It is possible they've already issued it. Maybe it was lost in the mail. If you're working with a lawyer, or if you're working with us, we can certainly reach out to USCIS to just see where it is, since it's been 5 months since expiration. And sometimes they will just directly email the prima facie to us. So same you can do with your lawyer if you have a lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, then you're going to have to do it via snail mail to do that. Zalika says, good morning. Can a green card holder with a dismissed case travel? Thanks for the great week. So now, I don't know how I'm going to answer this question because, again, I don't like to create drama and pandemonium, but I like to give true personal stories that I've heard. This has not happened to me, but this has happened to a very, very, very close colleague of mine, a very, very close immigration colleague of mine, whose client was detained when they returned back to the United States based on a felony that happened in 2007. And that felony was disclosed in the green card process. And it was waived and they got their green card. So this is ongoing. So this is very, very new news, meaning like 48 hours kind of new news. So I can't tell you the outcome as of today and if that person is going to be bonded out or what's going to happen. I can come back next week and confirm to you guys what happened. So my advice is if you have a criminal record right now, it is not a good time to travel, because, my thing is whether it's dismissed, it's not a good time to travel. Until we see a consistency across the board in how they're treating these, travel is at your own risk. It's up to you. So my answer to you is, if you were my client, I would say no, based on what this trusted colleague has told me. The people that are safe to travel are people who don't have any criminal records, who do not have any removal orders, who were not in deportation or are not currently pending in deportation. And there's one more category that I want to talk about. If you have an advanced parole, like, I've had a lot of clients ask me this, if you've, had an advanced parole and, is it safe for you to travel? The answer is it's going to depend what kind of case you have, what stage you are in your case. Have you ever received an RFE? Have you ever are you in deportation? Was your case, there's a whole lot I would need to know. So I cannot answer a random person on Instagram about your own personal situation. I would need to know your immigration history to say, you're good, you can travel, or this might not be the best time to travel, okay? And on that note, we've still had very many clients travel, and have returned back just fine. I'm sure some of them are on live and can attest to that, both with advanced parole and with their green card. So again, this really caveat is for people with criminal records and for people who have deportation proceedings or deportation order. Be careful, okay? Okay. Let's see. I have a green card for 7 years and no crime, clean record. My son filed for me when he turned 21. I just did my citizenship paperwork and waiting for the interview. But with all the news now, I'm scared. What are you scared of? You're going to be fine. And just go for your interview. You'll be fine. I can't tell you in the last 30 days, 45 days, how many naturalization interviews I've been to. And every single one of them, except one, every single one of them even had an arrest record, right? And they were all approved. So you'll be fine. You've not done anything wrong. You don't have any crime. You have a clean record. You've been a green card holder for 7 years. As long as you're paying your taxes, as long as you don't have any children under 18 that don't live in your household and you're not taking care of, you'll be fine. Okay, just go for your interview and I'm sure it'll be fine. You can come back and let us know here. 1738 Special K. I'll try to remember your name and let us know how the interview goes because I'm sure it's going to go fine. At what point in the VAWA process would you recommend congressional assistance when you have passed the timeline, 42 months? If you're not able to get anything from USCIS, my recommendation always is after you've passed the window of processing time, which I talked about earlier, In VAWA cases, that's 42 months. Because if you go to congressional assistance right now, they're going to tell you, well, you're still within a normal processing time, right? So if you pass that timeline or pass that window, the first step would be to inquire from USCIS, well, if it has a timeline, you can either approve me, or if there is something that's stopping you from approving me, let me know what it is. Send me an RFE so I can respond to it so you can approve me. That's the strategy that we take here. It's like, if you're going to put our client on hold, then tell us what's causing the delay so we can respond to it so you can make a decision. Okay? Oh, is my Instagram frozen? Let me see. Is a medical RFE for a VAWA I-485 a good sign? Yes, it is a good sign. Usually you don't get a VAWA I-485 medical request unless your VAWA has been approved. It just means that you're processing it. We are definitely seeing, even though you're getting a medical, we're definitely seeing, still seeing interviews, like less waivers of interviews. Still some, but less waivers of interviews. But VAWA interviews after an I-485 approval are still the same. I was in one, on Saturday, actually this Saturday, and still same interview as it always used to be, and still pretty straightforward. Okay. Okay, so Brownie on Instagram. I'm assuming you're the same Amber on YouTube because the question is exactly the same. So I answered that already. Okay. I didn't go to a green card interview the first time, then I got denied, and then I filed again with the same person and haven't heard anything since 2022. What can I do? File viral wait, because I face a lot. I can't tell you to file viral because I don't know you. I don't know whether you're eligible to file viral. Like I would need to screen you to determine eligibility or to determine what you need to do next. So, you can schedule a consult and I'll be happy to evaluate your case to determine eligibility. Okay. My VAWA is pending. My I-130 will be denied by June because I don't want to continue with the petition, and the OPT will expire by July. Will I be placed in removal proceedings? It's unlikely since you have another grounds that are pending, so it's going to be unlikely. Okay, let's see. How long does DNA test take in Nigeria? After interviews in January, still waiting. Oh my God, girl! Like I don't know if you're female. Okay, your picture says you're female, but a long time. You should have gone to another country. DNAs in Nigeria take like 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. For most people or like our clients in Nigeria, we send them to Ivory Coast. You go to Cote d'Ivoire and go do it. And that will take like about 45 days. You just take a quick flight there, but like Nigeria, for DNA there, it takes a very, very long time. So we don't even recommend doing it there. We just say, just go to one of the neighboring African countries and do it there. Okay. Mariah says, my wife did her naturalization interview last December 2024. It's been 150 days of waiting. What can she do? She got a 10-year green card. That's a really long time. You need to definitely do an inquiry if you've not done one. And otherwise, you're going to need congressional assistance. That's a long time for post-naturalization. That's a really long time. Okay. If my husband is on Biden's program, does filing I-485 for spouse stop deportation? Wife is a U.S. citizen. I don't know what Biden program. What Biden program are you referring to? Are you referring to PIP because it's no longer valid? So I don't know what program you're referring to, unfortunately. What if my work permit expires and I've never received a receipt notice after filing for renewal? I guess, you can do an inquiry. Like if you have proof that you mailed it, like whenever you mail something, you always want to, especially anything to the government, like you always want to have proof of mail. Like, so you want to, either whether that's FedEx, USPS, or UPS, you want to keep the tracking number so you can prove when it was delivered and to the address it was delivered. And keeping in mind that USPS, anything you mail, expires after 4 months. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you try to search a tracking number after 4 months, it's going to show that it doesn't exist. So it will almost seem like you didn't mail it, even though you did. So it's very important that if you mail something, that you screen capture the delivery as soon as it happens, so that if you want to come back 5 months later, and it's obviously disappeared from there, you have your evidence. If you mailed it, and you have proof of delivery, then you can try to call USCIS just to see the status on getting your receipt, right? Or you can do an ask Emma, like say it's an emergency, and explain to them that basically, you're at the risk of losing your job because you filed timely, but you haven't received your receipt. And hopefully that will get them to issue you one. Okay. Right. I've answered this. I am told that the current administration can go ahead with deporting Venezuelans. This puts about 350,000 of them at risk. What is the status of others? We don't know yet. We've only just heard the Supreme Court's ruling as of yesterday, which is that the current administration can terminate the TPS status of Venezuelans who were under TPS. I can't tell you for any other country. I can only tell you as the news comes, because I don't do speculative news. I just do the facts. So once it becomes law, I can let you know. Okay, I keep getting the same question and I've answered it, so I will skip it. Can a 12-year-old attend a green card interview? If they are scheduled for one, yes. The youngest that I've had attend a green card interview here in the US would be my clients who were 7 and 8 years old. And usually for those clients, the questions really are more along the lines of, what's your name? Where'd you go to school? Who'd you live with? Just very simple questions like that, very quick, like questions like that. And it's usually with a parent. Like, so they do the parent and then they ask the child. Even though, anyway, let me just keep my comments to myself. But I mean, I think it's ridiculous to be interviewing, 7 or 8 years old, because really, it doesn't happen often, but, they can possibly be interviewed. Yes. My husband has abandoned me and my daughter from last year, July. How do I go about that? Well, I don't know what the situation is. Do you have a pending case? Have you experienced abuse in your marriage? I would need to know all those things to be able to tell you what your options are. You can certainly schedule, a consultation, and we can talk about it and see what's going on. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Let's see. What else? Will TPS be terminated in August for Haiti? I don't know. We'll let you know. Christine Noem says she'll evaluate the situation, closer to the time, and we'll let folks know if she's continuing it or not. As of right now, it's not looking likely, but I don't know. So I don't want to say yes or no because we don't know. Okay. But we're in the end of May. So hopefully we'll know sooner rather than later. How long after a prima facie determination is made does a person receive work permit? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm not sure I understand the question. You said person's work permit renewal over 3 months. I'm not sure what the question is asking. Okay. Michael on YouTube says, I received my EAD. My spouse has completely changed. She recently kicked me out of the house and later apologized and begged me to come back. I'm afraid she might attend the interview. What can I do to save myself legally? Michael, I'll be happy to have a consultation with you just to understand your marital history and what's going on with you and your spouse. And if you are eligible to file a self-petition based on abuse or extreme cruelty, that could be an option for you that allows you to get your green card on your own without your spouse based on her abusive behavior towards you. Typically, if you have a pending case, would request an abeyance. It's like basically you're saying to immigration, put this case on pause just so we can finish this VAWA application and then we'll merge it together. But without a consultation, I can't tell you because I don't know, your personal situation. But I'm happy to consult with you. Okay. All right, guys. Someone is asking, how can I get in contact with you? 407-995-6567. That's our number. You can also send a WhatsApp if you want to schedule a consult to 404-333-8751. Our other phone number, if the other lines are busy, is 678-325-1037. All right, guys, I got to jump off, but I hope you guys have a good day. If I didn't answer your question, definitely schedule a consultation and we can chat. All right, bye.